Alright, it's my first training video. Hopefully it goes well. Bear with me if I stumble a little bit, guys. We're going to talk about shrimp heading right now because shrimp season just came around, and shrimp heading is going to be something that we got to do a lot. And so I've got three main things to think about when we're heading shrimp. We got to prepare for the shrimp. We're going to talk a little bit about how to actually head the shrimp. And lastly, about how to make sure the shrimp stays the quality control part of keeping shrimp fresh and safe to eat for the customers. So first is preparedness. When we're thinking about the shrimp we're about to head, how much are we doing? And we're trying to get all the pieces together before we start. That way we're not running around halfway and getting ice and getting baskets, getting containers. And so having your ice ready, having all your containers, so your baskets, everything you're going to put the shrimp in, planning out the boxes that you're going to use. A rinse basin, we'll talk about that a little bit later. It's a major part of heading shrimp. And then a place for the heads. So a place, usually you can put a basket on it or something, but a place for the heads. As for heading the shrimp, the number one thing to remember is we're trying to go as fast as we can. This usually is done paid by the pound, so you're only going to get paid for as much as you head. But when we're just getting it done in the market, I just want to make sure that we all think about just keeping a good pace. Part of doing that when heading shrimp, I call it like the rabbit principle, is keeping everything kind of close and we're not reaching too far. And so when we're heading shrimp, everything that we need is right here in this area. And we're not like putting the shrimp over here or over there. It's all really close. It helps you do it quick. The second thing for speed is two hands. And it's difficult when you first start doing it, but being ambidextrous and using both hands to head shrimp is the only way. If you start heading with like holding one and then pinching and holding one and pinching, and you got to rethink it and start thinking about using both hands. Let's see. The other thing is the neck meat. When you're heading, if you look right there, there's still a lot of little head fat and neck meat. And so when we're heading, we want to make sure we get all the legs and everything off of the shrimp. That's really important. So speed, two hands, make it short moves with your hands. And oh yeah, the other thing is there's two ways. It's either you're heading using the head and leaving the shrimp, holding onto that, or you're actually grabbing the tail and leaving the head. They're both fine. I prefer heading with the head. That way you can keep a bunch of heads in your hand at one time. So like a rabbit, I'm just grabbing shrimp heads, and then eventually you got a bunch in your hand and you throw it in the basket. The last thing in shrimp heading training is quality control. Part of that is this shrimp basin, the rinse basin. So you can see I just got a basket set up in some water, and shrimp heads have a lot of head fat, and just kind of, you'll see it, the nasty stuff. And so a really important step is to make sure that you rinse the shrimp when you do it. So don't just head it and then pack it. You gotta, if you're doing a whole bunch, you can use a big vat to do this, but if you're only doing a little bit, these tub trucks work fine. But make sure you remember to rinse the shrimp and not just pour it into it where it's sold. The second thing is keep your ice on you. Both the rinse basin should be iced and cold, but we don't want to have a thing of shrimp sitting for a long time just getting warm. Even when the pile of shrimp like this is right here, I try to just make sure there's ice mixed into it. And so when you're doing it, pay attention to the temperature of the shrimp and make sure it's not just sitting out for a while getting warm. Hopefully I covered everything. Let's see. Yeah, that's all I got on my notes. Thanks guys. Hope I taught you something.
That was good.